Hello guys! If you have seen some of my other videos, you have probably seen that I am a little bit of a light freak and always need some extra lighting on my car and everywhere else I go. So I got this one for my car keys. I've had one of these before, but I will go into that later, why I don't have it and why I'm gonna unpack a new one of these now. And if you couldn't see previously, you can see it now. It's the Nitecore tip. It's the 2017 version. I've never had the previous version, but I think it's just a little bit of updates and it's now out of aluminium case. And the max output in turbo mode is 360 lumen, which is really good. 500 milliamp battery, which is going to last a long time. You can get in different colors, as you can see. A lot of information here if you're interested. Basically, the main thing I will draw out of this is that this one got the cruise ship with the max output of 306 lumens. You also get another version of this one with another LED chip, and it's called like the Nitecore tip CRI. Which stands for color rendering index high CRI, so it makes it a little bit more warmer white light, so you get a little bit more out contrast or something. Some people like a little bit of more warm light, but then the lumens also drop on those versions. This is also something I'm interesting. It says there 74 meters of throwing distance of the light, which will be interesting to see if it's at 1 lux or 0.25 lux, and those two numbers are like the standard of measuring the distance of the throw on light. Impact resistance, max intensity 1400 candela. It just says how strong the strongest point on the flashlight is, so the higher the max intensity it is, the longer it's gonna throw the light. Impact resistance, not that useful for me, but this is the biggest drawback. It's only IP54, and my previous one died because of that. I was skateboarding to a friend, and one of my beers for some reason exploded in my bag, and my car keys, which had this light on it, then got dunked in beer and it just stopped working. The button stopped working, the LED and the battery was still working when I took it apart, but yeah. As you can see here, you have this 2-button layout up here. The Cree XPG D2 or something, yeah. LED with this small reflector here, which they claim will throw the light 74 meters. And also you have the charging port. Here, as you can see, and you have the 2 buttons here and nothing more, so if there's any water around it, it will just go in there and kill the light. So this clip here is basically if you're gonna have it on a capsule or something like that. And you also get it so you can put it on a keychain, as you can see in this bag. But on-off button, I'm using a DSLR here, so on-off button, then you turn on the brightness, as you can see on the top one here. Hold it in, I believe, to go to turbo mode, and it goes back when I release it. Click it one time, it goes one higher output mode and even a higher one, and then it just circles through it like that, and hold it in to go to turbo mode and back. And I also believe if you like tap it or something, yeah, if you tap some of the buttons in the correct order, you will have like the SOS, blink, and some other thing, strobe lights, but I never used those and probably never going to use them either, so it's a nice to know feature if you're interested in the light. But so just a useful feature, which I didn't know at first, but I learned after some time, is that if you like double tap it, it's going to blink, and I believe it's a free blink, it's over 50%. To blink, it's probably between 50 and 20% or something like that, and one blink is probably under 10%, but you get the point what I mean. So you just double press it and it's gonna tell you that. And those LEDs also have a function when you're charging it. So now to the interesting part of the video, which I think is most interesting. When you get the light, you will feel it and look at it, and there's probably a lot of other videos showing you how it looks, but not maybe showing you how it performs. So we'll turn it on. Now it's in the lowest setting. As you can see, the light is pretty good spread out, and this is in the lowest setting. It's a little bit brighter on the camera right now, but as you can see, it's a pretty big ball, and I believe I'm holding the light now around 2.5 meters from the wall, so it's not going to have a really long throw though. So this is the medium one. As you can see, it's just a little bit brighter. I think that was the brightest one. But if you go to turbo, as you can see, that is the brightest one, normal, and then we have the turbo, which is like this. So it's not like the O-light flashlights that I have tested, when the beam pattern is evenly spread out of the whole thing, but for being such a small reflector, this is pretty good, and I don't mind that there is like more of a hot spot in the middle and then a little more of a fading on the outside, like this. I hope you get my point. So on to the most interesting part of video, where I'm gonna test the throwing distance of the light. And here we have my lux meter. I was just basically holding it from this point, from the edge here. So I'm gonna take this laser meter distance calculator thing and see the distance from this edge to the lux meter, and then I'm gonna calculate the throwing distance. So it measured 3.451 meters. So something like this is the formula. The distance that I am having the light from up in a second. I'm not sure how I'm gonna say it in English, but so 3.451 times 3.451, then the lux reading that I had at 90, then I found this x here, then I'm just gonna take the square root and it's gonna give me the 1 lux. So from my calculations, which was not perfect because I had some ambient light in the room, and everything is not gonna go as smooth as a real one, but it says here 74 meters, and then that tells me they've taken the this is 1 lux, 43 meters at 1 lux, and if we multiply that by 2 is 66 0.25 lux. So it did almost correspond to the number that they give you, 74 meters. I got 66. It's lower, but the flashlight was probably not charged or something like that, but it's fairly close. And 0.25 lux is like the light from a full moon.